this morning we are going to be bringing some cattle in, and the younger ones that are the calves that have dropped in the last few months, we're going to be putting some ear tags in them and identifying those for our records. So hope you enjoy this one. Alright, so I should give you a quick tour of how the yards work. Here goes Norman. A good set of yards works in a round or circular fashion. So where I'm standing, we've got the crush and the working area. So this is basically the end of the line or the circular area. So if we start behind me, this is the main area. I'll just spoke through. So that's the main holding area, and we run the cattle into the yards. And then it's probably a bit hard to see, I'll get up on the gate. So that's the crush area where we work, and the end of the round circular area. Around here and around is the main holding area in the yards. Over the back is the water yard. So down here everything pivots around this round yard. So when we first bring the cattle in, they're just over this the other side of this round yard. We bring them down into that yard at the back, and then they come into the round yard. I'll just switch over. And then they come into what's called this forcing yard. And then from the forcing yard, they go into the race, self-explanatory, and then into the crush. And then you have a small channel at the end of the crush where you can either let them out or send them up the loading ramp. Alright, well, we got the cattle in the yards. That wasn't too painful. They were actually quite good today. Sometimes they just don't want to go. Usually it depends on the time of the day. Late afternoons is the worst. Anyway, generally what we'll do is we'll run them right through into the holding yard, so it's easy for them. They just see an opening and they just come straight through. So then we've shut the main gate behind us, and I'll walk them back into the yards. Actually, I've got to open up this side gate first. Gates that we've just brought them through. When you're working with cattle, the easiest thing to do is open up a few gates in the yards themselves, and it makes it easier to move them around instead of trying to squeeze them into one small opening. And they come back in easy. Yeah, we've only got a small herd. I halved it a few years ago when we had bad drought, and just kept them a bit of a small herd since. So we are looking to build the herd back up now. It's just every year we just have, as you can see, way too much grass. You'll get to see Norman again today. Come on. Come on, in you go. Shh. Get up. One. See how easy they run back in when they see there's a bit more room to move and an open gate. Come on, in you go. So just moving them into the back of the yards. We call it the water yard, where we've got a trough. So when we've got them in here for long periods of time, they've got water. Right, so the next thing we'll do, now that we've got them in the yard complex, is we'll move them into the biggest of the yards themselves. So you move them around into in a circular motion into the round yard in the middle, where you do your drafting, and then you let them out into different gates as you want to draft the cattle into different groups. So obviously today we'll be drafting the ones that have got e-tags and the ones that don't. Sometimes you'll be drafting the ones you want for market and the ones you want to keep. You could have 3 different groups if you've got steers that need, young bulls that need castrating. Shut this gate. You always keep one eye on them, even though they're calm, especially when you've got mama cows. These calves are a bit older, so the mums aren't so protective, but sometimes, especially newborns, the mother cows are very dangerous. So we've got them in the yards. So they've actually gone into the end section where we do all our work at the crush. So I'll move them out of there, and then we'll bring them around the outside of the round yard in the circular setup that we have. Come on, girls. We've got a new bull. He's pretty quiet, but we're still getting to know him, so we just have to be very careful. That's him there. His real name's Iconic, but in keeping the fashion with young Norman, which here comes young Norman, it's Norman, we decided to call Iconic, we nicknamed him Donald Big Balls. Oh, he was playing with the cattle prod. It's not actually a prod, it's just a bit of hose. Anyway, we'll move the cattle around. Norman, what do you reckon? You got some friends today? Oh, he's so happy. Come on. Norman just picked this up before he was playing with it. Come on.
Sorry.
In you go. Yep. Get up. Come on. Get up. Go on. Get up. Go on. Get up. Go on. Bye. Go on. Norman's big day. Gonna get his ID tag. So it's number 15, A15. So when they don't want to move, you can either use the cattle prod or you can grab their tail and you turn it up. So it makes them go forward. Well, that's another job done on the farm for the day. Shane's disappeared putting things away, so I'll say goodbye on behalf of us and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.